You are listening to Core, a show on Code Zero Radio that plays bands located in the Fox Cities, a show to find and discover new music. Hosted by Andy McNamara.
Hello everybody, welcome to Fox Cities Core on WCZR Code Zero Radio. If this is your first time tuning in, Code Zero Radio is a rock station based out of the Fox Cities, play lots of independent rock music, and we've got a great lineup which you should really download our app if you haven't done so already. You can get it for your Apple or your Android devices. It'll give you stuff like schedules, on-demand content, and a whole lot more. Today, I'm joined by Bob Minter. He is the architect of Code Zero and host of Zip Code Zero. He's going to be sitting in today and adding some color commentary and additional questions and cleaning up anything that I might miss. And Bob, how are you doing? I should ask how you're doing right away.
I am, I'm still kind of half asleep because you drug me out of bed to do this show.
Well, typically, if the viewers don't know, Bob also does a streaming show with Ken Bowes, who does Indie Tunes, and that show's on Wednesday nights.
Yeah, it's pretty much of a train wreck every Wednesday night. So
it's an informative show. You guys talk a lot about different things in the music industry and a lot of things that independent artists are probably going to be concerned with. I like to tune in, and you can pull it up. I like watching it on YouTube on my TV myself.
Right.
I feel that's the best way to consume it. But
right.
Are you as excited about the guest today as I am?
I'm thrilled.
Well, without any further ado, the Electric City Experience, it's what many consider to be the kickoff of the summer music festival season. Electric City, it started off as a one-day event that was scattered all over Kaukauna, and it's morphed into just a big stretch of music gloriness, and they added carnival rides and things like that. The festival will be taking place in Kaukauna on June 8th to 11th. And our guest on the show today is the communications director or the communications manager for Electric City. It's Jim Collar. Jim, welcome to Fox Cities Core.
Oh, hey, thanks for having me, and whatever title we'll do. I put the words and try to get people excited.
You've been with the festival now officially for...
Officially, this will be my second festival, but I've been around it since its second year. My son is an up-and-coming musician, and he had some opportunities there, so I've been around the festival since those days when I was having to haul a young man into taverns with his acoustic guitar.
How does it feel to be on the inside now?
It's interesting.
Do you mind telling us what is your son in any current bands?
Actually, yeah, and that's exciting. He is 18 years old. He graduates high school in a couple of months, and he just joined on as keyboardist for Unity, the band.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, he's about 6 gigs in, and he's got one hell of a busy summer ahead of him.
Yeah, that band's been around for quite a while.
Yeah, it's that to me will be the interesting point, the psychology on how an 18-year-old does with dudes that are all his dad's age.
Did you dabble in music at all?
I am good enough on a guitar to hold down a campfire. Nothing more than that. I've always loved music. I've always loved the scene. Unable to do it. The chance to do some writing and in the communications end of things, it's been awesome because it's been an opportunity to contribute to the scene in the only way I can.
Well, you've been contributing to the Fox Cities as far as writing goes for a long time.
Yeah, so I am a former journalist. Well, once a journalist, always a journalist. But I had been with the Post Crescent for quite a while, between the Post Crescent and the Oshkosh Northwestern. That was about 18 years. I'm now doing writing in a marketing role, and in my off time, I'm having a lot of fun doing the music thing, as well as doing communications and PR for some causes that I really believe in. I also on the board of directors for the Wisconsin area music industry, and that's again in a communications role. I joined the board as someone who can do the press releases, put together the program, do the content for the website. So yeah, staying busy.
Writing is definitely not my strong point, but
And it's not a lot of people's strong point, and thank goodness, because that gives me a niche.
so with Electric City Experience coming up, was that something that you guys had in the works for a while? I know they announced it officially a couple weeks ago that it was coming back.
So you can't not have something of that scope in the works for a while. It's a fairly big production put on by a small number of people. It takes a lot of organization, and it takes the community. So really, the opening stages are gauging and getting the community on board, getting the sponsorships we need to be able to pay the fine musicians to put on the show, and so the reaching the stage of announcement. Once kind of all of that foundation is laid and we know we're going on, then we let the community know.
So it's been going on for a while.
It's been going on for a while.
I would imagine the logistics for the production alone is fairly involved.
Interestingly enough, it after you do it for a while, you know where the puzzle pieces go.
Oh yeah,
and I wouldn't necessarily say it's rote, but at the same point, there aren't a lot of surprises. You know what needs to be done, and you eat the elephant one bite at a time.
Make the phone call and it's done. That's nice.
How big is the crew for Electric City Experience?
So in terms of So there are a couple of people that are, you know, do the organization and put together the event and then make sure everything's going smoothly during the event. Tracy, Jason, and I kind of do those roles, and then we have some crews that do the stage setups and tear downs, and we've got then you know you rely on the contractors for the tents and the porta pots and all that thing. So it's kind of a dance.
It sounds like a lot of work.
If you enjoy it, is it work?
What was the biggest hurdle this year to overcome?
Truth be told, it seems that this year went fairly smooth. Last year was a little bit interesting because the year it was coming back after a couple years off. Prior to the pandemic, festival decided to take a 1-year hiatus to kind of streamline things and get everything in shape. And then all of a sudden, COVID entered our world, and that took us down for another year. So last year, it was a matter of trying to recapture momentum. It was, you know, and there was also the idea that, you know, COVID wasn't gone yet. So we couldn't even really start to the last minute because we didn't, it took us a while to gauge whether it would even be responsible to hold an event of that scale. Once other outdoor events started hitting the schedule, and once it was interesting, we announced, and then like 3 days later, the CDC came out and said, well, you don't necessarily have to wear masks outside. And we're like, woo, holy relief. And so, yeah, maybe that's why this year it just seems that everything's clicking into place is because last year there was so many different weird things we had to account for.
It was like kind of a strange time when Electric City took the year off, and then they, like you said, COVID came, and then there was that fear that maybe the festival was going to run out of gas or just kind of dissipate and cease.
Well, and the idea that, and that's really a credit to the community. it matters to Kaukauna, and it matters to their business community, which we rely on those sponsorships to get things rolling. So that really showed its meaning in terms of the idea that we're putting on a major production in the middle of the pandemic, and you're willing to come along for the ride with us. That showed us that we've got something to build from here, and something to build into a great tradition.
Was the attendance last year down a little bit as people kind of eased back into doing big, gatherings like that, or did you feel that the attendance was about on par with previous festivals?
Perhaps it was down a little, but truly it was an excellent festival.
How do you keep track of the attendance? I mean, is it a general guess, or?
It's a general guess. You look at how full the tents are. You look at how much beer you sell. There are certain ways.
So you're not doing like a head count.
That's
impossible.
That would be impossible. Especially, we're not a gated thing. We don't give tickets.
Well, you can find me at the food trucks. So.
That's totally that's like absolutely one of my highlights.
And I know, Bob, we both attended last year. Did you have a favorite artist last year, or a favorite part of the festival?
Black Belt Theater was playing, and we've featured those guys for such a long time, and it was so nice to actually see them live, and they did not disappoint. I really loved seeing them. And Unity, the band, the last night we were there, I can't believe how packed that place was.
It was rocking.
Man, it was nuts.
Oh, Dalton Palomas, thanks for tuning in. He said Jim's the man.
Hey, Dalton.
So with your son being in Unity, was he a fan of the band prior to joining? How did he get?
Absolutely. And he listens to all sorts of music, but funny story, it wasn't even like 6 months ago, the panic was setting in, because you're 18 years old, you're coming to the end of your high school career, and he's going to be a professional musician, but what does that mean, and how do you take that first step? And he had a Craigslist ad out there, trying to gauge interest and see what bands were looking for a guy. He can play just about anything, but he had the idea in his head that I'm going to be playing a kind of music that I absolutely hate, and have to run that gauntlet for a while. And then all of a sudden, boom, he lands a gig where it's a genre of music that he loves, with a steady stable of shows, and as a dad, a great group of guys that I don't have to worry about him being out on the road. So everybody's winning here.
I missed them last year at Electric City, but I'm glad that you got to check them out.
Check him out. At least he's not hanging out in the van playing cards with a bunch of ne'er-do-wells from the School of Rock, right?
Interesting, you should say.
Brenda, thank you. She said Pudge was great.
Yeah,
Thanks for tuning in. So more questions on the festival. How in your words, what would be the differential if you're comparing something like Electric City to Mile of Music or Paper Fest or one of the other great festivals that we have in the area?
That's it. We have like so many awesome festivals. It's so easy to take for granted living in the Fox Cities until you recognize that not everywhere can you go out on every night of the summer and find live music and not necessarily have to pay money to listen to it. So what sets Electric City apart, I think, is a couple things. First of all, its positioning in June. It's a great welcome back party. To me, it's really opening day for the live music season of a live outdoor music season. It's a chance for everybody to shake off the winter and come together and see all of their favorite Fox Cities acts in one place. So for the newbies, the folks that aren't necessarily going out and listening to a lot of live music, it's a chance to get a great taste of everything that's out there. And then for the experienced the folks that are listening to Fox Cities music, Wisconsin music regularly, there's always a couple neat curveballs in there. So you're going to see a lot of bands that you see a lot, but then you're going to see some bands that Black Belt Theater is an example, an awesome Milwaukee band that isn't playing the Fox Cities every other weekend. Right. So you're gonna run into some acts that you didn't expect. So there's really something great for everyone. What set us apart from a paper fest, I think, is music really is. That's front and center of what we're doing at Electric City Experience. It really is a family-friendly festival where you're going to find something for everyone. There's going to be a variety of food that you're not going to get everywhere else. There's a great variety of beer. You got your carnival rides, but you come, you're going to listen to the music. If you don't like one act, you're going to walk 25 feet and you're going to find something else. And it's a great place to get a taste of the great music going on around us.
It really is family friendly, and I know my son enjoyed the carnival rides last year, which he loves music, but his attention span, he can take like 20 minutes and then he's getting, a little antsy to get moving, but he enjoyed the carnival rides and he won a little hamster that he still talks about. Wow. And but it's just a great family event. And are the fireworks back? Were they? The
fireworks are not back this year. That's something that, we got in our back pocket, and we'd like to unroll again, but they're not gone forever. they're not back this year.
That's the thing too, like with how the festival's growing, like it seems like maybe you'll try some things one year and then it'll change and try some different things, but it really has grown from being scattered all over the city to be more centralized and adding components.
I think there's going to be growing pains and learning with any kind of event of that scope. You're going to figure out what works well and what doesn't, and make adjustments all along the way. And I don't think you ever quit learning. Another great thing that differentiates us a little bit is we're right out downtown. We're along the Fox River. So in addition to the music, you can take a stroll downtown and enjoy the shops down there. It's just a really neat environment on top of the fact that there's a lot of great tunes going on around here.
Was there any pushback? I'm going back to having the events in the bars and the clubs in town, and then you guys moved to the tents in the park. Was there any pushback from the venues, the bars, about moving the music away from there?
So that predates me a little bit, but what I can say is the support we've gotten from Kaukauna has just been astoundingly good, and I think everybody recognizes that there's a lot to gain from having an event where you can bring the whole family down.
Yeah, that's the main part of it, I think.
Right.
Is you gained a lot more family friendly.
Yeah, the 20-something party guy is still going to have plenty of fun and opportunity. The 30-somethings with a 4- and 6-year-old in fact, they're going to have a great time too.
I know that Verbettens, is that how you pronounce that?
I think that's probably in the ballpark.
Verbettens. Last year we were walking around. And it was hot. It was so hot, and I ducked into Verbettens and I downed like 4 beers like right away. So they made a little bit of money.
So yeah, no, and it's right about that time where you can have scorchers. So
yeah,
air conditioning, boom.
How was the response? Oh, and the weather too. You can touch on that. I don't think the Electric City's had any bad luck with weather.
This is wood, right?
At least a veneer that. But the weather has normally been great. It's been kind of on the hot side a couple times, but that's better than torrential.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it's at the point in the calendar where really hot isn't annoying as hell yet. We've been cold and cooped up. Oh, it's hotter than hell, but this is okay.
What is the response? What was the response like if you know about it when the festival moved from inside bars to being completely outside? Were some of the venues a little upset to lose the indoor shows, or?
That's probably not the best question for me. I'm not sure. Yeah, all I can really say about that fact is from everything I've gauged, there's just a really great vibe around what goes on that weekend.
Jason Lipsky commented, "How could I jinx the weather like that?" Sorry, Jason. We're going to be calling Jason a little bit later, so we'll get a chance to talk with Jason. But this is the part in the show where we do a segment called Band Reaction. And it's not really like we'll play like a clip from a previous show and then get our guests' reaction. So this one's like not a whole lot to react to, but we'll do it anyways. Band Reaction. Band Reaction. Rex, so it's festival season's coming up.
Yes.
So this is kind of, you're going to probably be announcing some shows sooner than later.
Yes, there will be some official announcements sooner than later, but I expect that Electric City will be happening this year.
We've got Jason Lipsky's on here next week.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that always. Electric City, Mile of Music. Paper Fest is coming up this year. That should be fun, who's ever there. So yeah, festival season. I'm glad we can do it this year again.
I mean, there's not really much to react to besides, I guess, a question to follow that up. Is it kind of nice to hear bands when they're getting excited to play?
You put the reaction right in my mouth. It's awesome to get great reaction from the families, from the individuals out there drinking beers and partying down and having a great time. But when the people who are out there and working are having a great time as well, you know you did something good.
And people out there working, so there are a lot of volunteers that help make the festival possible.
Absolutely, and that's one of the great components of what we do. You know, we try to put the community into the idea of the community festival. We give back some significant dollars to community groups. Electric City has been very active in the little pantry program at the Kaukauna Public Library, which is a small food pantry. We became involved in that during the course of the pandemic when there were a lot of folks getting laid off, and we thought, what could we do? Well, we could help make sure that everybody's got food on their table. So giving back to the community has been really one of the big things we want to accomplish year in and year out. So we have volunteers come in, and the charities that they represent get paid per their hours of work. So we get we get the work we need to keep the festival moving along, and a lot of great community groups benefit from that. And those folks are having a great time along with everybody else. You know what? When you're working at a music festival, it's hard to call it work. You're having a great time as well.
Are you guys still looking for volunteers, or is there a way that if somebody is interested in volunteering for the festival that they're able to?
I would say if that's something you're interested in, hit us up on our Facebook page, send us a private message, and we'll see what's out there for you.
I'll volunteer to hang out by the food trucks and make sure the food quality is correct.
There's a lot of people already volunteering on that end, but you know, feel
just throwing that out there.
So we kind of covered the fireworks and the carnival rides. There's also is it called Music in Hydro Park or concerts in Hydro or something like that?
Yeah, so Live from Hydro Park is a music series that takes place at Hydro Park in downtown Kaukauna on Wednesday nights, similar to the Hyde music series that you'll find at Houdini Plaza in Appleton, as well as the music series in Neenah. I'll tell you what, if you love live music and you're a frugal person, like, you could just have an entire summer of awesome music for free just by hitting those events every week. So at the Hydro Park concerts, that's going to be the kickoff to Electric City this year, the Wednesday night concert. That'll feature Bobby Evans and the Dairyland Kings. And I don't know how much awesome guitar you can smash on one stage. I think that is about the capacity. I wouldn't want to go above that.
And then that series is sort of curated by Electric City, right?
Jason Lipsky who puts together the music program for Electric City, is also involved in putting together the music for the music program for the Live from Hydro Park series, and you're gonna love it. And if you hate it, now you know who to go after.
So I mean, Jason, he's not only doing Electric City. It's not only just that 1 week. He's doing stuff all year.
He's a busy guy. It astounds me sometimes.
Well, that's great. And I think if people haven't checked out that series, they should probably get over there and see it this year.
Well, if you like music and you have a lawn chair in the back of your car, you have no excuse. You got everything you need. Come enjoy.
It looks like, looking down at the list here, there's also performances this year from, of course, Appleton Rock School, which is, if you haven't seen Appleton Rock School, you really have to see it. When we call Jason a little bit later, we'll ask him about Appleton Rock School, but it's more or less younger people learning to play in bands, and they have a performance every year. I like checking that out. I see here the Revel Dance Academy too. What's what? Still there. Well, it's just, I guess there's so much going on, and I see here family-friendly hip-hop show with Il Genesee.
Yeah, so we're really excited about that this year. Just in the fact that we're always looking at how we can do things a little bit different, expand our offerings a little bit, and make sure that everybody's accounted for, that we can put on something that everyone is going to enjoy. I mean, and we've done, we've got Irish music, we've got jazz music, and we got a whole bunch of rock and roll. So the fact that we can put up a hip hop show with Fox Cities, that's from the Fox Cities, that's just so cool. And the fact that we can have an act that appeals to a younger audience, and that parents can feel comfortable letting their kids go enjoy it. It's just a win-win. It's going to be an awesome experience.
Just another reason that the Electric City is just expanding every year, and this will probably bring in a lot of different people that might not have checked out the festival in the past.
Absolutely, and that's really the game. I mean, you give people a reason to come check it out, and once you're there and you're walking around and taking it in, having a great time, you're going to have it on your calendar for next year.
How do the bands get booked? Like, are bands reaching out to the festival? Is there a official kind of submit page that goes on, or is Jason kind of reaching out and finding bands to ask to play?
Jason works his magic. The ins and outs of that, I think, would best be saved for once we get him on the line.
Okay. Leave that question for Jason. So, Bob, you mentioned the food. And, of course, the beer is popular, too.
Beer.
Oh.
I know in the past there's been, specific beer stations, and how's the setup this year? Is it going to be similar to last year as far as the beer goes?
So that's one of the beauties too about our festival. You can go to a lot of festivals, and you'll find your domestic light, whether it's Miller or Bud, and perhaps like one wine cooler-ish kind of selection. We feature a pretty wide selection of beverages for an event of our type. We bring Stone Arch in, which brings an awesome selection of craft brews every year, in addition to the domestics that everyone knows and loves. And then, keeping on with the popular trends, have a seltzer. We had introduced the Vizzy seltzers last year, and those were unbelievably popular. I personally don't get it, but hey, we got them. Enjoy.
Man, people can. I'm a newbie to Wisconsin. I've been here for a year, right? And I'm amazed at how much beer can be drank in this state.
Yeah, it's incredible. I personally retired from that game.
Did you?
Well, I was, at the top of my career. But it's a reputation that was certainly earned.
Wow. Yeah, I'm just, like during Oktoberfest, the amount of beer that flows, it's just amazing.
Yeah, some people really let loose.
Yeah.
But, in terms of soaking that up, the food selection that we offer at Electric City is also, at a lot of festivals, you get your corn on the cob and your burger, and you're happy with whatever they offer you. No, this is food court material. We got food trucks representing a whole variety of different things, from desserts to ethnic cuisine, to your as expected brats and burgers, to all the deep fried stuff you want. So come with a full wallet and an empty stomach, and you're gonna go crazy.
I refer to that line as the buffet.
Well, I'm excited for this year, and I really do like it that it's all in the one stretch now, because the first couple were great, but it was hard to get around town if there's a band that was way off on, I think the Brick House was a far out spot at the time. That building's not even there anymore. And then if you wanted to run to the other side of town, you were kind of.
When was the first Electric City Festival?
Jeez, I'd say 6-7 years ago, perhaps. I don't. Jason would have that date, I'm sure, at the top of his head, but that's my best recollection. But in terms of the layout, it's not a ton of walking, and the fact that you got you might think, okay, 5 stages in a pretty short stretch of land, what in the hell is that going to sound like? But it's great. The way the stages are situated, you're not having that bleed over, and you can pop from one stage to the next in a half a minute, and it's a great setup.
I have a treat for everybody. We're joined on the phone by Jason Lipski. How are you doing this morning, Jason?
Hey, not too bad, Andy. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for hopping on the phone. So you've been watching and listening to the conversation, right?
I have.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you already jinxed our weather for the week. So thanks a lot for that. We might as well move weekends right now.
We had a couple of questions during the show where we thought maybe you could help us answer. Is there a way for bands to possibly reach out if they're interested in playing, or do you have the schedule pretty solid already?
There's not necessarily a formal way. I mean, a lot of it is just bands will message one of us. At this point, after doing it for this many years, we've got a pretty good roster of bands that have played the festival at one time or another. So a lot of it is returning acts from year to year. That's one of the fun parts of it, is it's kind of becoming one big family. Both with volunteers and bands and vendors and kind of everybody involved. That's kind of one of the best parts of it.
Well, an Electric City to me it's a very homegrown festival. What I mean by that is that you really do feature so many bands from the area. And as Jim mentioned earlier, the festival gives back to the community, and not only during that week, but you're doing stuff at Hydro Park throughout the year.
Yeah.
You're just involved with a lot of stuff. I really love what this festival means to the area. And what made you decide to do it in Kaukauna? What drove you to decide to have it there?
Well, that's just where kind of opportunity had presented itself. The first year of the event was back in 2015, and I had been approached to see if Rock School wanted to be involved in it. And at the time, Rock School was just in its first couple of years of being around, so I was looking for every opportunity to play that we could find. But after talking to the people that came to ask me if Rock School would be involved, after a few minutes, I realized that they really didn't have anything put together for the event yet. They didn't really understand about booking bands or renting stages and sound companies and sound and lights and production and all that. So I stepped in to offer if they needed any help putting that stuff together. And 7-8 years later, here we are.
And you have been in the music scene for a while. You used to do a lot of lessons, music lessons, and then you started Appleton Rock School.
Yep.
How, if somebody's got a young child or somebody that's early teens and they're interested in music lessons, how does Appleton Rock School work as far as the lessons go?
Well, we offer 2 types of program. We do regular private lessons, so we take beginner through advanced, and we do all instruments, guitar, bass, piano, drums, voice, and everything in between. So if you're just starting out, that's kind of the place to get going. And then once you've got some playing ability under your belt, if you want to get into a band, we've got that going as well. And basic idea of that, we put the kids into bands and we go out and play gigs.
You've got something called the Appleton Rock School, the Little Rockers program.
Oh, that's something we just started just this February, a little toddler music class. So that's been pretty cool. Watching it's kind of designed for parent and child to do together. So the kids come in and there's a range of different music activities that they work through each week, and it's been pretty cool.
Jumping back to Electric City, is there any bands that you could cue us in on that are playing, and when is the full schedule coming out?
Well, we're working on the schedule now, and the full actual schedule with the stages and times, that'll probably be a couple weeks yet before that's released. But we're going to start releasing some of the bands pretty soon here. In fact, some of that will likely start coming out this weekend yet. We've got Unity coming back this year. That's one that, I heard you guys talking about a little bit earlier, and lots of folks have mentioned how rocking that tent was last year while they were playing. So we're looking forward to that. We've got Pegasus on the schedule this year. They are part of our Friday night lineup. One of our stages, we work with the fellas over at We Jam. I'm not sure if you know Kurt and John from Iftikhar and their We Jam project that they do, but those guys are awesome. And the music that they're bringing into the valley is, every week they've got something, they're bringing in something somewhere.
Iftikhar had a good performance last year.
And they're with us again also. And on Friday night, we kind of tie in We Jam, and we do a We Jam showcase on that stage. So we've got Disco Naps coming in, and then Pegasus, which is rolling in with a 9-piece mega band that will likely melt your face straight off. And then Iftikhar wraps it up.
Well, it sounds like it's a pretty solid lineup already. I look forward to having the full schedule released, and I do like going to the festival and getting the hard copy. Are you going to have hard copies of the schedule again this year?
Yep, we have little booklets made that kind of have a full schedule throughout the weekend, so those will be available. We usually start dropping them around town in the week or so before the event, and then there's piles of them everywhere on the grounds.
All right, Bob, you have any questions for
No,
Mr. Lipski?
I just wanted to make the statement that you're able to do this and keep it free is pretty amazing.
That is a testament to the community support from our sponsors. We've got just an excellent list of sponsors this year that they're on board with what we're doing, and they're supportive. They're easy to work with. They don't put us through the ringer on anything. Especially this year, Berker's Family Dentistry stepped up to be our presenting sponsor. And Dr. Berker's, Chris Berker's is a great guy. I've had him rip a few teeth out of my face myself. He's a pretty good dentist too. He kind of stepped up into the pole position for us this year, and helped making the whole thing possible.
Nice.
Well, and to think that our sponsors are very Kaukauna centric. It really goes to show what this festival means to the Kaukauna community and what the Kaukauna community brings to this festival. It's a really impressive thing.
Yeah. And with the prices of everything skyrocketing, I mean, this is going to be a good escape for people to come to and just relax and know that they're not going to, have to fork out $1 billion to attend.
We only had to raise the price of beer to $19 a cup.
I was just going to say, I think we're keeping the beer prices even.
So with we hopefully didn't jinx the weather, but if it does rain, which hopefully it doesn't, the music's all in your tent. So I think you've got that covered already too.
Yep.
And Jason, did you miss it after the music moved out of the bars, or did you feel that kind of made things a little easier to plan?
I did not miss it at all. I knew that long term it ultimately was not sustainable in the bars, just because of the costs involved with production and bands and just everything that it took to put music into the bars for a full day. If that's got to come from somewhere. And our community sponsors were certainly not, as inclined to support an event that took place, strictly within a collection of bars downtown versus kind of the friendly family aspect of just throwing a big party in the park. So that's what ultimately led to the move to outside. There was a year where we had elements of both, where we had kind of just started to increase our outside presence. I believe it was 2017 was the year that we kind of first started to move things outside, where we still had stuff in the bars, but we started to, we had 3 music stages outside that year. And that was a big success. And that following year is when we went fully outdoors, and really haven't looked back since.
That's, and the Electric City does really treat the bands well too. So it's being somebody that performed there in the past, I want to thank you for everything that you do for the local community scene here and the fans alike. It's pretty amazing. So thank you, Jason.
Well, thank you. And we're bummed that Pudge is not on board this year. I think you guys have played every single one.
Yeah, Tony lets me know that every day.
Yep. And I'm going to let you know every so often too, just in case it slips his mind.
Well, thank you for hopping on today, and we again appreciate it, and congrats on everything going on in your life right now. And we'll see if Jim can burn the house down in the next 9 minutes.
It's bound to happen.
If anybody can do it, my money's on him.
All right. Thank you, Jason.
Thanks a lot, guys. Take care.
See ya.
Jason Lipski there from the Electric City Experience. That was pretty cool that he was able to jump on and join us for a bit there.
Right.
You were friends with Jason for quite a bit before.
Well, how it's interesting how all of this ties together. My son, who is now 18, started in the Appleton Rock School program when he was like 9 or 10 years old. And Jason is an absolutely amazing teacher, and not only works well with students, but works well with families in terms of really getting the most from his students. And the relationship as my son's guitar teacher and band coach over many years, grew into a pretty close friendship, and with what I do, melding into what he did, what he does, a nice working relationship as well.
That's great.
So those rumors of bribery weren't true.
Well, I told Andy we weren't going to be talking about that.
Well, this is pretty cool that you're able to join us today. And I know I've seen your name in the past. I was an avid reader of the Post Crescent, back in the day. And if I could just quickly ask you, like, how did when you left the Post Crescent, how was the print industry doing, and do you feel it'll bounce back?
I pray it bounces back, but to be honest with you, I don't have the greatest optimism about that. It's fascinating to think about the hustle and bustle of the newsroom when I arrived at the Post Crescent, and the small amount of reporters that any local community paper has. It's sad. I think a good, robust local news product is so important in terms of keeping government honest and keeping the community informed. We'll see what that ultimately means to community and community bonds, but it is what it is.
We were hoping you were going to drop the master code to get past the paywall.
If you got that code, I'll take it.
So let's run down here right at the end of the show. Electric City. Let's make sure everybody's got the information they need here. It's June, beginning of June, and we've got, let's see, June 8th to the 11th.
11th, correct.
And we're going to have just 5 outdoor stages just loaded with music.
And all sorts of music from jazz to rock and roll, everything you could, as mentioned before, hip hop, anything you want to listen to, you're going to find an example of that at Electric City. So come enjoy.
And the weather is going to be fantastic.
It always has been, but now we know it's not.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great for the dollar carnival rides, because I mentioned the tents for the music, so that you're covered there. But the carnival rides, that is iffy if it rains out. So let's hope the rain stays away. And again, I had kids there last year, and they just loved the carnival rides and the carnival games. So you can't go wrong. It is a family festival, place you can take everybody to, and it's a great way to sample so much great Fox Cities music.
And as to tie that together too, we want to encourage our kids to get involved and to enjoy and experience live local music. Yeah. You're not going to get your kids into bars on Friday and Saturday night where a lot of live music happens through the years. Take them to Electric City, and for that matter, take them to Hydro Park and Houdini Plaza. Take your kids around and get them involved in enjoying the music. They're the next generation of our scene. Well said. Bob, anything to add? Just don't take them to the Pink Hippo. I don't know what that is. We'll just leave that alone. Jim, thank you so much for joining us today. Oh, thanks for having me. It's awesome sitting and chatting with you guys. Hopefully we can get you back sometime. Maybe we can do a after festival kind of breakdown or something. We could do a remote from Electric City. Yeah, you could do that too. High tech. High tech indeed. But anyways, thanks again, Jim. Jim Collar, the communications manager for Electric City. Go check it out. You've been watching WCZR's Code Zero Radio's Fox Cities Core. Join us again next week.